Welcome everybody to another episode of Malkiv Mayhem. Last week we got into the Norse spec, and this week we're going to get into a little bit more of the strategy, so stick around. As always, I'm providing the time link directly below in the details section for people who want to skip, just directly head to this PvP footage. Now, as I mentioned just a second ago, we're going to be getting into a little bit more of the basic strategies, and what this will include is when to use certain abilities and how to charge up your prototype flamethrower and all of that kind of stuff. So stick around and check it all out. This first fight is with Zad, and it was a good fight. He knew how to get away. He was really good at escaping, and there was a couple times where I thought that he might slip through my fingers. But the important thing is just to use your mobility, what you've got, and just try to stay with them. Try to keep the pressure on top of them, even if you can't get them locked down for a flamethrower. Just try to keep it right on top of them, and there might be a chance where you get that. One thing that's really useful is to use your flame sweep before you go into battle if you know that you're going to be out of combat for a few seconds, because it builds up a stack of prototype flamethrower, and the sooner you can use that in a fight and the more times you can fit it in your rotation, the better. And that's what I was able to do here with this next encounter that I had with Zad. And he tried to stand up and fight this time instead of kiting me along, since he had lost to me with trying to kite me along. And he did a lot better with trying to stand up to me than he would have. And you'll also see one of my very few instances of using rail shot, as you see here. This next fight was all about keeping mobile. He caught me right as I was trying to heal myself, so I had hardly any HP left. But it's just a true testament to how maneuverable and how much mobility can give you an edge, and how it's good for with the advanced prototype spec. It really shows through in fights like this, where you're literally able to outmaneuver somebody and outrun them to win a fight, rather than just putting down just gigantic numbers, but still the sustained DPS eventually got him. And then I popped because it's the last day of the Raku event. This next fight against Vanderkane was also a show of mobility, where I was able to keep up with him being a ranged character. He needs to keep me away, but that's really hard to do whenever you're up against an advanced prototype, because they have all kinds of mobilities and their freedom and all of that kind of stuff, so it's hard to keep him at bay. And Vanderkane had faced me before, so he knew kind of what to expect, and he knew to interrupt my flamethrower, and that was really good on his part. This next fight with Sinchi was a lot of fun. He's really good at escaping and getting away from you, and he's just a really good player in general. I was able to catch him quite unawares here, and with the mobility that the advanced prototype has, I was able just to keep up with him and still put some heavy pressure on top of him, despite him using his knockback and getting me and everything like that, and able to get a few heals in. This started with Janice, and I was putting the pressure on her. She's at heals, and a really good one at that if you give her the room to do it. And then all of a sudden I got stunned right here, and I noticed that there was a sage waiting for me, and so I quickly ran away, fearing the knockback. And here I even put down a stun on top of him and was kind of dancing back and forth to kind of test and see as soon as he came out of that stun if he would use a knockback. And he didn't, so I went ahead and just got real carefree and started going to town on him. At that point, Run Amok here, he gets ahead into the fray, and I got too comfortable with the no knockback that I made a mistake with him, and he used it. He took full advantage of it, and I ended up dying. This clip right here illustrates what happens whenever you have great teamwork. They attempted to Zerg on a door, and we were defenders that round. And I immediately found Janice, who was marked, and she's the heals for that team. So I went ahead and started putting pressure on her, and to her credit, she's really good at maneuvering, so she was able to get out and put down some heals before she finally died under my pressure. But it was no small task, but really what it's about is just keep on hitting her with those tech attacks, and she's a commando. She's got high armor, so you want to keep those tech attacks. I barely made it and got this health pack here, and was getting some shots put on me there that almost put me out of the match, and now here I'm just putting pressure again. Thanks to my teammate, we nailed it. This next round against Aranos I felt was really good. It just seems like Guardians and Juggernauts are able to put out a little bit more better damage now. It's just something that I feel is going on. But here, again, I'm using my mobility. I'm also using my flamethrower whenever it's up. That's just such a huge amount of damage that can go out right there. And I eventually got him here. At the start of this next fight, you can see that I still am using my Flame Sweep to charge up a stack of Prototype Flamethrower, and that's how I was able to do some easy early damage on Seduction here. And Seduction also has a little bit of a bad habit of backpedaling. If you're trying to run away from a player, try to use your Strife to run away from them. Try to get away from them by running off to the side, and you'll move a lot faster. And as you can see here, doing that myself, I was able to get her down real easy. Don't be afraid to use Death from Above whenever you got enemies packed together. Even if it misses, it generally panics them, makes them scatter out. And here in this match, it really shows what a few good players can do to a group of enemies whenever everybody's working together and coordinating their attacks. Another great thing about the Prototype Flamethrower is that you can quickly switch from target to target as a new one comes out to start putting pressure on it, and use your Flamethrower whenever it's finally up at 5 stacks and off of its cooldown, and you'll go through pretty well. Another great thing about being an advanced Prototype no rail shot spec person is that you can sneak up on people and catch them and do some considerable damage to them before they can even react to you. And I was caught unaware as I was trying to heal at reduced HP, and this guy came over and started attacking me, and quickly realized that he was simply not going to outdamage me, and actually started trying to run away from me. So I went ahead and just followed along with him, and at the end put a dot on top of it. Was going to wait for his dot to tick on him and kill him, but had to chase him down. I zipped back as up to the sniper and I to do some damage to, and the sniper ended up ignoring him, so I had to take Bacchus out myself, which was hard to do because he's the Vanguard equivalent to a Pyro, and he does a lot of damage, and I really felt it as he was putting the heat on top of me, but I eventually got him and reduced him down to 0, just no easy feat. This last clip just goes to show how much damage the Flamethrower really does. You see me charge up, I see these guys running along here, and I just torch everybody down. You just see their health plate on their nameplates just instantly start reducing to 0. And I was just left with one guy barely alive to mop up at the end, and that was easy. And with that, I hope everybody enjoyed this week's episode. I'll be seeing y'all next week. And if there's anything that y'all would like to see more or less of, would like me to include in the show maybe for next week, go ahead and leave a comment below in the section, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy what you see. With that, this has been Malkiv Mayhem. Peace. I'm out of here.